Okay, so we're starting off here in chapter 14, chemical kinetics. We left off with chapter 13 in Chem 1A. So the author opens with kind of an interesting story about lizards. He talks about how the kids in his neighborhood have an interesting method of catching lizards. You know, kids like to go out and catch creatures and torture them. So they'll take a glass of ice water and they'll find a lizard. It's hard to get close enough to catch it, but they'll throw the ice water on the lizard. Lizards are cold-blooded animals. They do not regulate their own body temperature. So you pour ice water on them, they get very cold, and they get very slow. And so then it's really easy to pick up the lizard. And you put them in a box and observe it for a while, and just, so you're not too worried about the lizards. The children did release the lizards back into the wild, and no reptiles were harmed. Okay, but when the lizard's body temperature drops, it slows down. Why does it slow down? Because all of the chemical reactions occurring in its body also slow down. Chemical reactions are sensitive to temperature. Their rate of the reaction is dependent on the temperature. And rates of reactions is something we're going to talk about here in this first chapter. So chemical kinetics is the study of the factors that affect the rates of chemical reactions. There's a lot of different things that can affect the rate. Temperature, is one of them. Rate of chemical reaction is very important, and when we know what influences the rate of the reaction, then we can learn how to control the rates of reaction. Here's a couple of examples where it's important. The rate of reaction is important. So the rate of fuel combustion. So you're trying to launch a rocket. Well, you need that rocket fuel to combust at the right rate. It needs to be a fast enough reaction to give enough thrust to lift the rocket up and get it into orbit. But you can't have it happening too fast or the thing is going to explode. So there's a happy medium in the middle. Biochemical reactions, the rates of those reactions are very important. That's what's going on in the lizard that gets slow when it's cold. Our bodies, we are warm-blooded mammals. We regulate our own body temperature. Temperature affects chemical reactions, but a lot of the biochemical reactions that occur that keep our bodies alive would happen too slowly at body temperature. And if you were to increase the temperature high enough to get the reaction fast enough, then you'd destroy the tissue. So that's not going to work. So what your body does is it uses enzymes to catalyze the chemical reactions, and then the enzymes can control the reactions to sort of turn them on and off. And we'll look at that a little bit about the enzymes. It's a very fascinating field, and that's getting into biochemistry, which we're not doing in this class. But studying the chemical kinetics gives us some insight into how those reactions are occurring.